I had just woken up from a long night of crying and screaming, trying to make my young 6-year-old son go to sleep. When you have a 6-year-old, you have to understand that they're difficult. Let's say that. Stubborn. With a headache, groggy, I go to the kitchen and I start fixing eggs, bacon, the usual breakfast stuff, a few pancakes. Pour 2 glasses of orange juice, get my cup of coffee. My son walks in holding his teddy bear, rubbing his eyes. "Morning, buddy. How are you doing?" He just silently walks over to the table, rubbing his eyes. He sits down in his chair and just starts to eat. Well, how about we watch some cartoons? How about that? Rub him on his blonde head. And I grab the remote and start flipping through the channels, and I find a children's station. Well, we sit there for about 10 minutes, eating, watching cartoons. My son's laughing. He only knows a few words right now. He doesn't exactly know how to talk. Let's just say he's a late learner. Well, a news broadcast comes across the TV. A breaking news bulletin. Why a breaking news bulletin would go over a children's station? I can't even think of why they would do that. Especially what they were showing. Attention all civilians. The infamous John Carter, the responsible for the death of 15 kindergartners, has escaped the maximum security prison here in Las Vegas on the day of his execution. He is a highly dangerous individual. If you have any information on him and his whereabouts, please contact us. Then they start to flash images of his victims over the television. I think the news station went way overboard with this, but it was horrible. They were showing dead bodies of all the children, like body parts here, there. It was absolutely a mess. Before I could cover my son's eyes, he had got a good glimpse of what horror was being flashed. But as I'm trying to cover his eyes, the news broadcast goes over. It's too late for me to even protect his vision. He starts to cry. I hug him around the neck, hold him, cradling him, trying to get him to calm down. But I finally think of a perfect way to brighten up his day. I look at him. "Do you want to go to Disneyland, son?" He nods his head yes. In excitement, he runs upstairs, grabs his clothes, and comes back down. I grab his shoes and start to put them on him. He grabs his teddy bear, and we go out the door. I lock my door behind me. We get in my car, and we start driving. He's bouncing up and down in his car seat, going absolutely crazy at the thought. We pull up to the front gates, and you see Mickey Mouse. Well, employees dressed in Mickey Mouse outfits, Donald Duck costumes, Goofy costumes, just all kinds of Disney characters. You see all the rides, you see hundreds and hundreds of children and families everywhere. We pull up, park, I take him out of his car seat, and then I walk up to the front gates. I order our tickets, and then we start having a blast. We went on the teacup ride, the apple ride. We went on several little small children rides. I mean, I can't take him on any of the roller coasters or any of the haunted houses because he's only 6, for God's sake. Well, it starts to get dark, so we decide to go grab a snack. before we head home, I go to the concession stand and I get lost in conversation with this beautiful blonde. She is absolutely gorgeous and smart too. We start having a conversation for the longest about kids and the way the economy's going, just all types of things. Well, that's when I noticed something. My son is gone. I was so immersed in the conversation, he had let go of my hand and walked away. I look around panicking, trying to figure out where my son went. I see him walking over to a man in a Mickey Mouse costume. The man is sitting there, motioning my son to walk over to him, holding a balloon, a Mickey Mouse-shaped balloon in his hand. I run over to my son, pick him up, and put him on my hip. Don't run off like that, boy. You scared me half to death. And then the man in the Mickey Mouse outfit sets up and slowly starts to walk away. Puzzled by this, I just think of it as, one of the employees trying to do his job to brighten a kid's day, but that was just too creepy for my taste. I grab my son and we head to the car. I put him in his car seat. He's already dozing off. Buckle him in. I give him the driver's seat. Crank up my car and start driving away. As I'm driving home, it's getting incredibly dark. I turn on my lights, my headlights. I start hearing some thudding, some loud thumping. Damn back tire. Need to get that damn thing fixed. My son's sound asleep in the back. I just think nothing of the bumping, and I keep driving. I pull into the driveway, pull in front of the house, get out of the car, and slowly close my door. And I slowly open the door to my son. I don't want to wake him up. He's sound asleep. I slowly unclip him from his car seat, pull him out, and we start to walk toward the front door. As I'm unlocking the door to the house, I hear a clicking sound behind me. I quickly turn around and I don't see anything. No cat, no dog. All I see is my trunk wide open. I walk over to it with my son in my hands and I close the trunk down. I walk back to the door, take one last look outside to reassure myself. I close the door and lock it behind me. Well, I lay my son down in bed, and with all the excitement today, plus that news broadcast, it kind of shook me up. So I lay in bed with him, and we both fall asleep. I wake up in the middle of the night abruptly to a loud thud. My son is gone. I frantically look around the house, but I can't find him. I run to the phone and I dial 911, but the line was cut. I slowly make my way to my room and I get my pistol from my nightstand. I slowly start treading through the house, looking in every corner, every crevice, every closet. Just as I think all hope is lost, I hear the thud again. It's coming from the attic. I've always told my son to never go up there. Even though he's 5, curiosity gets the best of them. And I mean, it's just a small door. There's really nothing to it. He could push it open with ease. No lock. I'm stupid for not buying a lock for that damn thing. I slowly start going up, ascending the stairs. And my jaw drops. I see the man from the park in that same Mickey Mouse costume, holding my son on his hip. My son's looking up at the man, smiling a wide smile, gripping his mouse-like black nose, playing with it. The man's sitting there with my son waving at me in a cartoonish fashion. I aim my gun and I yell, "Let my son go, please." He slowly starts to back away from me, and he jumps out the window of the attic. I fire, but I miss. He makes the jump. He lands on both of his feet with no problem, and he starts to run off. It was so dark, I couldn't see where they went. He's gone with my son. It's been 2 weeks, and I can't find him anywhere. My son is gone. I can't find him. We've been searching for 2 weeks, but the cops finally have just dropped the case and said he's officially dead. But I know he's out there, and I know he's alive. I know this because I've been receiving letters in the mail through my mail slot on my door with no return address. It's just a blank envelope, and I keep getting these letters. They keep being stained with small droplets of blood, and they say words. It's a small world. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?